Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Lianhe Xiaobao, Iran and Israel announced on Monday that they have halted their mutual attacks, less than 24 hours after their latest exchange of fire. The Iranian armed forces issued a statement declaring the end of this round of military operations, which they claimed were retaliatory strikes in support of Lebanon following Israeli actions in southern Lebanon and Beirut's southern suburbs. Iran warned of harsher responses if Israel continues its military campaigns. Shortly after, Israeli media reported that Israel paused its strikes against Iran at the request of U.S. President Donald Trump. However, Israel emphasized that it would continue to target Beirut's southern suburbs if Hezbollah persists in attacking Israeli towns. In the interim, the Israeli military reported that 3 projectiles. According to a report by Lianhe Xiaobao, the United States government has urged its NATO allies to utilize their defense-related budgets to dismantle and replace telecommunications equipment from China's Huawei. U.S. State Department China Coordinator Joshua Young reportedly suggested during a closed-door meeting in Brussels that member nations allocate a portion of their defense spending to secure critical infrastructure. While the proposal did not explicitly name any country, sources indicate it was primarily directed at Germany. In recent years, most NATO members have agreed to increase defense spending, which can be used for cybersecurity and hardware replacement. However, the plan faces resistance within Europe. Germany and Spain are leading opposition to the European Commission's proposal for an EU-wide ban on Chinese suppliers like Huawei and ZTE, which have been classified as high risk. Berlin and Madrid prefer to retain national decision-making authority and fear potential economic retaliation from Beijing. This issue of infrastructure security and defense spending is expected to be a major focus at the upcoming NATO summit in Turkey. According to CNBC, Apple's annual Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC 2026, has kicked off, placing the company's artificial intelligence strategy at the center of attention. Investors and developers are closely watching for updates on Apple Intelligence, Siri enhancements, and Apple's key partnership to integrate Google's Gemini AI models. This year's event carries significant leadership importance, as it marks Tim Cook's final developer conference as CEO. Apple recently announced a major executive transition, naming John Ternus, the Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering, as the incoming CEO to succeed Cook on September 1, while Cook will step into the role of Executive Chairman. The conference is seen as a crucial moment for Apple to prove its capability in the AI race, where it has faced previous challenges and skepticism. CNBC highlights that the software updates revealed during the event, including next-generation operating systems for iPhones, iPads, and Macs, will set the stage for Apple's upcoming hardware releases in the fall. According to Al Jazeera, at least 11 people have been killed and dozens of others, including police officers and civilians, were wounded in violent clashes in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. The clashes erupted in Rai-e-Lakhod on Sunday between security forces and supporters of the outlawed Joint Awami Action Committee, JAC, ahead of a planned rally on Tuesday. The violence was triggered by a landmark Supreme Court ruling in the region, which constitutionally protected 12 legislative seats reserved for Kashmiri refugees living in Pakistan. The JAC has long demanded the abolition of these seats, arguing they grant refugees disproportionate influence, and has campaigned for greater political rights. Regional officials reported that 4 police officers and a bystander died when protesters opened fire, while 6 protesters were killed in the security forces' response. Over 70 people were injured, and 30 individuals have been arrested. Following the clashes, the regional government designated the JAs as a proscribed group under anti-terror legislation and advised tourists to leave the region. According to a report by Lianhe Zobao, Japanese investors aggressively reduced their holdings of overseas equities in May, recording their largest net sell-off in nearly 5 years. Data released by the Japanese Ministry of Finance showed a net outflow of 2.72 trillion yen, approximately 21.8 billion SGD, from foreign stocks, the highest monthly net sell-off since April 2021. This heavy selling comes amid escalating tensions in the Middle East and growing concerns over the rapid rise in technology shares, which prompted investors to lock in profits, particularly from popular AI-themed stocks. In contrast to the equity sell-off, Japanese capital flocked to the bond market. Investors net purchased 2.9 trillion yen in overseas bonds in May, marking the highest level since May 2025 and indicating a rotation of funds from stocks to bonds. By entity, trust accounts were the primary drivers, dumping 3.38 trillion yen in foreign equities while investing 3.16 trillion yen in foreign debt. Conversely, investment trusts and life insurers remained net buyers of foreign stocks during the same period. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.